So today, this video, our listeners here want some help figuring out how to shape their divorce, how to ensure the best possible outcome for themselves and everyone else that their separation or divorce will impact. I've asked our audience to consider 3 different stakeholders or relationships as I described them earlier in my editorial. These being extended family and your community, like your soccer coach and your, in-laws and things like that. Also one's immediate family, which is the family that's going through the separation, children and your ex-spouse. Lastly, oneself.
Right.
So can you just speak to why considering these relationships is so important to the future outcome?
Well, I mean, these are your support systems. These are all the way from the relationships that are most important to you and bring you the satisfaction and joy in your life, to the support to, in the end, we all have to live with ourselves, right? Like you said, we're a stakeholder in this, and how you're going to feel about yourself through this process and what that outcome is going to look like in your own personal growth.
Maybe you can give us a little bit of insight on your experience when you're working with families where you've seen more of that collaboration, like you talked about, and positive outcome,
Right.
and strong relationships after separation. I think a lot of people don't see that as an option. So maybe just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I really am in a interesting position to have seen truly the best of and the worst of. And one of the gifts that have come from that with my practice is there are certain elements that can guide you in the way of the best of, and there's things that can trip you up to the worst of, right? And I always try to say to people, crisis opens up opportunity, and it's now up to you whether it's going to be the best of opportunity or the worst of opportunity. So when we look at the best of, I have seen so many families be able to craft this and move through it in a way that has enriched their personal relationships with themselves, with their children, and with their community. And I have a story of a family I worked with, and I still recall them very vividly. We worked together for quite a while through this transition, and they had 2 children. There was a lot of grief and sadness at the end of this marriage, and everybody was sad, and there was a lot of powerful feelings. But those parents faced those feelings, and they kept their children at the forefront, and they ended up to a place where every week they would have Sunday morning brunch together when they did their transfer of the children. They would sit down, the 4 of them, they would go over the week, and those children got to see their parents continuing to work together and parent with them. So there are so many possibilities on how this can be done well, and how people can actually be happier and more fulfilled once they've moved through this process.